The Alpha Sessions.
Hello and welcome to the Alpha Sessions. I'm Eliza May and I'm with the incredible Towse today. How are you guys doing?
Great, yeah, happy to be here.
Oh, it's so good to have you here. Honestly, I'm so obsessed with the vibe that's going on here and just the energy, so thank you for being here. To start off, I wanted to ask, how did you guys become a thing? Like, what's the story of Towse? Tell the people about you.
Well, Corwin and I met at a traditional folk music camp called Lark Camp in 2019. Corwin's parents started that camp, so they've been every year forever, basically. Wow. And then we started dating, and then about 2 years ago we started gigging together.
Nice.
No.
Though the band predates my existence in it, I guess.
Ooh.
Yeah, I've been, being an artist for a lot longer than that.
So how long have you been writing for? And also, for the people that don't know, what's the vibe of your music?
It's like folky pop music.
Nice.
I really like storytelling. I like emotional kind of connection and honesty and a little bit of humor in there.
I love that. I feel like the people need the humour sometimes as well.
Yeah.
Make you laugh, make you cry.
Make you laugh, make you cry.
Take you on the journey. I love
the whole
that.
journey. Somebody once said after a gig, she was like, you really bring us with you on all the highs and lows, and it's like, she's like, you slam us on the floor and then you pick us back up again, and now it's like,
that's how it should be. I feel like if you can get so involved with someone's music and take an audience member into that world, though, I feel like you've got such a strong bond, and that proves your songwriting must be up there, incredible. So
thank you.
In terms of your songwriting, what was the first song you wrote and what was it about? Do you remember?
Oh my god, I was 11.
Sounds about right.
And I think that it was called Tit for Tat. It was about an eye for an eye. I never even had chords to it. It was just me singing in my bedroom, pretending to be on a Disney Channel movie or something.
With the mic and everything.
Yeah, just singing this thing. But
that's iconic.
Very melancholic and dramatic, which has always been my vibe.
Oh, I love that though. Do you have much input in the songwriting experience, or is it a team effort, or is it a separate thing and we come together afterwards with the instrumentation?
Grace invites me into it more and more lately.
Oh.
Grace is the main songwriter, but I do little edity bits and help fine-tune things. Occasionally give you some bigger ideas, but mostly it's Grace.
Oh, I love that though. It's good teamwork though, and I think as an artist, from my experience as well, it's better to have more people involved, and
totally.
Two heads are better than one, I think, a lot of the time.
And Corwin did the Berklee College of Music songwriting program, so it's even though it's my songs, that technical, view on it is so helpful. Yeah. And also, like you said, I think most artists struggle with being very precious and not wanting input or wanting control over it, but it's been I've learned the more that I give up a little bit of that preciousness, the better it's all getting, and I'm happy about it.
Yeah, it was definitely a lot more of a battle a few years ago. If I wanted to give input, then it would maybe be some conflict, but now it's you're asking me for it, and I'm oh,
now every time I write, I'm I need your ears on this before I feel good about it.
I love it. So the trust is kind of built there around the songwriting process. Oh, dream team you guys are. You're gonna make me cry. So in terms of your musical journey, has your sound always been that kind of folk pop kind of vibe, or has it evolved over time?
It's definitely evolved, but it's always been in that you can always call it folk pop, whatever I've done.
I love that.
And when I was a teenager, it was a lot very Americana, and then it was kind of more indie, almost experimental. People compared it to Regina Spektor or Joanna Newsom a lot a couple years ago, but now it's I think a little bit more pop with folk flair than it used to be,
That's such a good way to describe it. I've listened to little bits of your stuff and I was that sums up perfectly. Well done. I feel it's hard to describe sometimes what your own musical sound is, because especially if you experiment with loads of different genres, but I love that you've stuck in kind of that kind of bracket of the folk pop-esque kind of vibe.
Yeah, it's the world that I live in.
I love that.
That journey was very much also, I think, following the what instrument is your main too.
True.
Guitar at the beginning, then lots of piano for a few years, and a lot more guitar again.
Ukulele.
Oh my god.
We don't talk about it, no.
No, I love a ukulele. I've been there. Incredible. So in terms of your musical sound, obviously you've got a couple of tracks out, 3 tracks is on Spotify that I found. Yeah. have you got new music coming up?
Very soon, yes. This song that we played today, Stay on the Road, is coming out 25th of April.
Oh my gosh,
very
super soon.
I'm so excited. I wrote this song about a year ago in February at the end of our California tour last winter. It was just kind of summing up that tour, like the experience of being a couple living on the road together. There's gonna be bumps, but like I was finding that it always feels like we're kind of strengthening the bond, even if it's kind of trial by fire. And then there's a little promise in the bridge, like I'm gonna keep trying to be better, So that's like the topic is like, we may be traveling, but I'm not going anywhere,
That's so wholesome, though. And I think a lot of people relate to that kind of strong connection through the power of that song, because, I heard a snippet. It's so good, like, so catchy, and you can really hear the, like, bond between you guys, especially in the harmonies as well. I loved, cute. It's just so good.
Yeah.
With this track, so you said you wrote it a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Is the recorded version like a full production, or is it a little bit stripped back, like the way
it's still a full? I'm pretty into, like, I have trouble not having the, like, I want to pile on everything when I'm doing production. So that's my problem. Like, I always have a producer be like, oh, a mix costs this much for this many tracks, and I'm like, I have way more tracks and like I have way more layers than that, and they're like, really? And I'm like, yes. No, so this one though I did myself. Actually, I recorded all the parts. I recorded the guitar, piano, mandolin, ukulele, so that's me playing all of those things. Corwin obviously is the violin that you hear on that. And then Dorsey, who mixed it, is also playing bass on it. And then there's a drummer that I've hired for the last couple of tracks who lives up in northern UK that just did it online. I've never met him, but we've spoken on the phone and stuff and via email, and he's really great. So
oh my gosh, that's
the whole process.
Though.
It's really just like 4 people and...
But that's amazing, because as I said earlier, 2 heads are better than 1. 4 heads? Oh my goodness, that sounds like it's going to be the best track ever. Like, so excited to hear it when it comes out. People need to be pre-saving, because it's so worth it. I can confirm.
Pre-saving.
Yeah. With the track, are you doing anything exciting to celebrate it? Because I feel like a release is a big thing and it should be celebrated.
We're doing so much stuff. Yeah. I mean, we're living the cowboy themed life, just basically the last few months. I did a photo shoot with my brother for the cover art. It was in Santa Barbara, California. We borrowed this 1979 El Camino truck. It's so cool.
Wow.
Drove up to this like view on the mountainside, and he took photos on our dad's old film camera, which was very special, little connection. So that's the cover art, and then we're doing we did a music video. It's still being edited, but we filmed it, and so that has 16 dancers in it, full like live band performing the song, and then that had original choreography from our friend Doe. So
it's like barn dance.
It's like barn dance.
Oh my gosh, I want to be part of it now. You've sold it to me.
So cute. So that's really cool. We filmed that in the Bay Area, California.
Wow.
And then here in London, we have a release show party coming up on the 25th of April, which is at Folklore, and amazing support acts. We're going to do like a Western costume contest. There's like special limited edition stickers just for the release. And so just trying to, live the pink cowgirl life.
Couples who would choose to live together in a car. I mean, who needs time apart? Entwine themselves financially and try to make art. I'm not surprised that it's hard, but hey, we got this far. I got one hand on the wheel and one hand in your hair. I've been driving every day, but I'm not going anywhere. I promise you I'll stick around. I'll shift the stick, we'll sing out loud and stay. On the road we'll stay. We'll stay. We'll stay. excited when you try to answer. We're calls on a date. I mean, surely it can wait. The truth is, I was looking for someone to pull their weight. A creative first rate, but I found my soulmate. I got one hand on the wheel and one hand in your hair. I've been driving every day, but I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I promise you I'll stick around. I'll shift the stick, we'll sing out loud and stay. On the road we'll stay. We'll stay. We'll stay. Next time I'm taking us home right through the night. I'll take a step back and look at the whole picture. Next time I'm taking us home right through the night. I'll take a step back and look at the whole picture. Look at the whole picture. Look at the whole picture. We chose a life of midnight drives. We chose a life of sleepless nights. We chose a life of endless goodbyes and highest highs. I got one hand on the wheel and one hand in your hair. I've been driving every day, but I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I promise you I'll stick around. I'll shift the stick, we'll sing out loud and stay. On the road we'll stay. I've got one hand on the wheel and one hand in your hair. I've been driving every day, but I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I promise you I'll stick around. I'll shift the stick, we'll sing out loud and stay. On the road we'll stay. We'll stay. We'll stay. We'll stay. We'll stay. We'll stay.
The Alpha Sessions.
In terms of going on tour and stuff, I know that you have been on tour. Touring is quite a big thing for you guys. How do you plan a tour? Because a lot of people think, oh yeah, I'll just go on tour, that's it. It seems like an easy process from the outside, but I'm assuming as artists, it's not that simple.
This is Corin's job, yeah.
I do pretty much all of our booking, and it's mostly just sending lots of emails and then also like connecting with your community and reaching out to people you know and then their friends, and just like it's like a giant puzzle that you're putting together and taking apart and trying to put back together again, and trying to think outside of the box about every single little thing you could make happen and how you could make it make sense.
Wow. Yeah, it sounds like a real big thing. So props to you, because I feel like my brain would fall apart with all of that like admin and management.
It's a lot. It was a busy year last year. We played about 130 shows in 15 different states around.
Oh my gosh. How did you keep like the vibes up on tour? Because obviously that's a long time to go on a tour for, and I feel like everyone again thinks tour is like the most amazing thing ever, which it can be, but I'm assuming there's ups and downs like everything.
The morale is variable. We were having like a bit of a rough time when we were touring out to the Midwest, but we had a really good time touring the West Coast a couple times last year, because we've got lots of friends that we can use our travels as an excuse to go see them all the time.
I love that. Any excuse to see a friend whilst you're doing a musical thing is amazing.
Because we don't see our friends often, but we do get to see a lot of our friends that we wouldn't get to if we weren't touring.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. On the tour so far, I feel like you guys, again, have been touring for so long. Have you had like a favourite tour moment or a favourite place to tour?
There's some stories for sure.
Oh, anything that we can hear about.
I said this even last time we were on this show, but we had a naked audience one time.
Oh my gosh. How did that happen?
It was like we were playing a festival and we were playing a stage that was at a swimming hole. So
nude swimming
hole. So everyone was like just literally naked.
And they were just vibing.
And we were on the stage and everyone's like, there's like 200 people there listening to the music naked.
I mean, they seemed very present by the sound of it. If they're naked, just watching.
I mean, everyone had a great time, but
yeah.
At one point there was like some uproarious applause in the middle of the song, and I was like, I don't think that was. And then I turn over and there's a naked man on a tightrope juggling like above the water. It's like, oh yeah,
that guy's doing something.
He's earned that.
Crazy.
That sounds amazing. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
In terms of like, you got the highs there, some really interesting stories. Have you had any like harder times on tour? Because a lot of artists don't share their tough times, which I completely understand. Social media and the way of the world that we're in is very much a highlight reel. But have you found anything tough about tour other than morale?
Just the constant packing and unpacking and like living out of a backpack, like not having the things that you necessarily need or want with you all the time, especially when like seasons are changing and you're like, oh, I didn't pack enough warm clothes or something, whatever it is.
You've written lots of bits of it into songs too, like
yeah,
doing your morning routine in the Waffle House bathroom.
Oh,
yeah.
you.
Sleeping in the car sometimes. We usually sleep in friends' houses and stuff, but we've never bought a hotel still.
Wow.
So it's just sometimes Corwin built a bed frame into the back of my hatchback, so sometimes we're sleeping in there and we're doing our morning routine in whatever restaurant or gas station bathroom that's nearby, which is not glamorous, you know.
But it's dedication, isn't it, to the tour? And like, you know, that show is going to be worth it in the end because you put all that effort in.
Yeah.
Oh, bless you. Yeah, that really shows the highs and lows of tour
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, bless you.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for anyone who would be going on a tour or is interested in the world of touring?
I think like what we do is basically whatever pays, whatever sustains. So I think it's like an ego thing. You have to let go of like expecting to feel like a pop star all the time.
Yeah.
You can make a living from performing, but it won't be glamorous.
Yeah.
Like if you already have a big following, then it might be. But
Yeah.
if you don't and you just want to make it happen anyway, you totally can. But yeah, it's not always dreamy.
Yeah. Oh, that's really good advice. I think going in with a realistic mindset
Yeah.
is, totally the best way to do it.
And even the dreamy stuff, like even when you have a label and you have tour support, it's still like, even the big artists are like sleeping with like 15 people on one bus or something like that. Like there's gonna be, yeah.
You're gonna have to bend to the situation, aren't you?
Yeah.
Oh, bless. That's really good advice. Hopefully someone will benefit from that listening. I was going to say as well, because you've toured obviously both in the UK, both in America, is there a difference between the two countries, the two different types of eras of show?
Totally. Yeah. I think we've talked about, like, in the US, there's this kind of grassroots DIY mentality that's so strong.
Yeah.
And it feels more kind of, I guess, organized in a sense in the UK.
Yeah.
So that has both have like positives and negatives, right?
For
Because
sure.
when you say like the grassroots, that means community. That means people turn up, they like show up, they are generous. But it also means that things can be chaotic, disorganized. It can be just hard to find the correct information even sometimes. Whereas I feel like in the UK things are a lot more streamlined and clear, but then at the same time it can feel sometimes more impersonal or like corporate, or like if you want to do something outside the box it's difficult to bend the rules, I guess.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my overall read on the differences. Obviously the US is a huge country with so many different pockets of culture, and I think that the big cities are more similar, I guess, to the general UK. Like if you try to gig in like LA or New York City, it's going to be more like what you experience in London.
Yeah.
Whereas like smaller towns and in any country are going to have a different vibe anyway. But
yeah.
Yeah, I hope that makes sense.
No, that
like,
totally made sense. I think as well, because I've only ever gigged in the UK, I feel like I only know one way of doing it. So it's interesting to hear how like how the US kind of feels, and that kind of mindset of playing the UK, and the US, and seeing that difference.
I mean, what was genuinely shocking to me, like I had never experienced it until I moved to London, was the idea of these like promoters that like set up the gig, expect you to sell tickets, like all of that thing. It's just really not the system in most of America, and I was like, what is this? Like, because usually in the US, even in the bigger cities, you're gonna book directly through the venue, not through like a promotion company.
And like it could be just having like an email exchange with them, or it could even be like, yeah, don't email me. Call me at the bar on Monday at 2 p.m. and we'll chat details or something like that. You know, it can be very like chaotic and grassrootsy in a nice way too.
But then again, it's that
different.
personal feel then, isn't it? Because you know the exact person you're booking the venue through. Whereas, I think in the UK, because there's so many different promoters, unless you have a good relationship from the off with them and know them in the scene, it's really difficult to kind of know who you're actually kind of playing for sometimes.
It can feel sometimes impersonal. But then at the same time, simple, where like if you get connected with that promoter and you start to work with them, they can just continue to get you more different gigs and you don't have to do like another set of research to find more
and
venues
slowly
to play.
Get known to more people and the journey continues then, doesn't it, when you found a good promoter and you got that relationship.
So it's just very different. Very, very different.
That's so interesting. So you've done a lot of touring, you've played a lot of gigs. Have you got any festivals or anything coming up, and what's your experience with festivals?
No, we're so excited to play Folklife in Seattle in May. It's a really long-standing festival. It's like all folk music from all over the world. So they have different, like songwriting performers like what we'll be doing, but they also have like folk dance and all kinds of different, folk music. Really, really excited for that. I've heard about that festival since I was a kid, so it's just like a dream come true.
Oh, that's incredible. So what stage are you playing? Do you know? Can we know?
I don't remember the details. It's like
okay.
The locations are kind of different every year, and I have the addresses of where it is, but I don't know like the name of the venues.
No, that's okay. Because in the UK, so we've got like quite big festivals like Reading, Leeds, Glastonbury. So for us in the UK, I don't know if we actually know many festivals in the US.
Right.
So it's really interesting to hear that this one's like been happening for so long, and then it happens in different venues. Yeah,
it's a free entry festival, so it's very, again, like community event, like and there are those festivals, right, like Coachella, South by Southwest, like that you've heard of. So this one is like a bit smaller than those, but it's still like really exciting to get booked for.
A girl with red hair and freckles at the Renaissance Fair kissed my cheek and said she's glad I was there. And then I knew that something new awoke in me that day. When I was 14, I broke up with my first boyfriend. I told a girl at school I didn't miss him, but I miss some things like kissing. And she said, kiss me instead, let me take you out of your head. Kiss me instead, you look so perfect lying in my bed. I met a singer when I was in my college years. She stayed the night, I watched her try on my clothes. I was a coward then, I wish I told her how I felt. At graduation, I saw her kissing my gorgeous friend. There was a guy who told me they hooked up back then, and I regret the things I never said, like kiss me instead, let me take you out of your head. Kiss me instead, you look so perfect lying in my bed. Now I wonder if I lost my chance, 'cause I was always too scared to ask her to dance. I wonder if I lost my chance, 'cause I was always too scared to ask her to dance. Wish I said, kiss me instead. 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 Let me take you out of your head. Kiss me instead. You look so perfect lying in my bed. Kiss me instead, let me take you out of your head. Kiss me instead, you look so perfect lying in my bed, lying in my bed.
Alpha Sessions.
In terms of festivals and gigs, which one do you prefer? Because as an artist myself, I know I have a preference, but it's interesting to hear what other artists think.
I love playing gigs where people came to see us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So gigging is more kind of like where your heart's at.
I mean, we've played so many. We've played background music sometimes, right, for money as well, and it's like, it's just so nice to know that people are there and that they are, you know, listening.
Yeah, that's the big thing, isn't it? You just want, as an artist, people to just take 5 seconds to listen to the music and really connect.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like, yeah, if you're in playing gigs where no one's listening, it's like, I'm doing it for me. It's fun for us, but like, we'd love to have people involved.
And when like we're traveling in new places and playing in places we haven't been before, you never know what to expect. You might show up and it be empty, or it might be packed, but no one is there for the music, or people are side-eyeing you weird. It's like, you're not from around here, are you? Or, you know, sometimes you don't expect it to be anything other than that, but then it's like everyone is really there for the music and listening, and like there aren't TVs in the background or anything. People are really there for the art, you know. You never know. And the same kind of thing with festivals, although it is a lot easier to get info about what a festival is going to be like before you go there or play there, just from previous years and stuff of it.
And of course, generally people come to a festival to enjoy music.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you have a guarantee that there's that likelihood rather than a random bar. You
A bit
really
less
don't
than
know.
of the like trying to win the people over. But, like,
Yeah.
you're not here for the music, but what if you were here for the music, you know?
There was this really cool moment though recently. There's this bar near where Corwin's from that we've played at like 4 or 5 times. And it was just crazy. We played there recently and we played an unreleased song that I've never even posted like on TikTok or anything.
Wow.
And there was like, the whole room was like singing along to the chorus. And I was
How
like,
do you know?
I literally said to them through the mic, like, how do you know this song? Like, what's going on? And they were like, we remember last time you played here.
Oh my gosh.
And we love this song. And I was just like, so that's like the moments that you live for, you know?
Yeah, literally. Oh my gosh, that's so cute as well.
so
I love when
cute.
an audience is like so on board and they're like, I'm going to come back for another show. I'm here for it.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That's the life, you know?
Love it. So, in your downtime, what do you guys get up to as an artist and as a group? Because as an artist myself, mental health is so important, and it's always good to have that rest time. So, what do you guys get up to?
I think the most important thing to both of us is trying to see friends and be present in whatever community we're currently in, because we're traveling so much that there's a huge sense of groundlessness and like that we aren't really part of any community. So just trying to take what like little time we have to try to be part of something and see the folks we know makes a huge world of difference.
No, I think community is the hugest thing, and in general, loneliness is the biggest thing I think we struggle with on tour. So even if we're somewhere where we don't know anyone, I'll just try to speak to whoever's around, and I have a lot of kind of phone call based friendships at this point, which is really nice. But I'm like a huge mental health advocate for artists. I think it's so important and not talked about enough. And
I completely agree. Like, as an artist myself, so in Birmingham, a lot of my friends musician friends in particular, have like moved to different places. So I completely feel you when you've got like the phone call friends, because that's the only way I feel I can get that connection from other artists I've become so close with.
Yeah, exactly.
And also, traveling to different places. You're on the road so much. You kind of need something that grounds you, don't you?
Yeah.
Oh, community is everything. I fully agree.
Yeah.
How do you feel about colouring, by the way? Because I love a good colouring. I'm just wondering how many other artists love colouring.
For us, it's board games. That's our like nerdy little like unwinding moment that we do. Yeah.
I love that. What's your favourite board game?
I suppose objectively it must be Innovation, because we've played it like 1,000 times together.
Incredible. I feel like there's always one good board game that everyone comes back to though, because they're like,
It's
this
like
is the
a
one.
card game, and it's only like this big, so Corwin always just has it like with us
In my backpack and my purse. Or whatever.
As it should be.
We
oh my
play
gosh.
it like during sound check or just whatever, you know.
That's so nice though, to like kind of get you in like a chilled headspace before a gig.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, incredible. I might have to start bringing little card games with me wherever I go. Fabulous. As musicians and artists, what is the one piece of advice that you've been given in life that you were like, this is the best thing I've been told in general? It can be about music, can be about just life in general.
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question.
Sorry, so deep.
Don't wait for opportunity to come to you. Just go out and find it. And if things do come to you, just say, don't think of reasons why you shouldn't. Like, say yes, you know?
Yeah.
Put yourself out there as much as you can.
Oh, I completely agree. Especially in the world that we're in now, everyone's doing something, and opportunities. Even though there's so many opportunities, I feel like everyone's going for similar opportunities. So if you can say yes to something, you'll always look reliable, and like you never know what the opportunity will take you.
And also earn while you learn.
Yeah.
That's one that I've like done from such a young age. My parents are both great folk musicians and really motivated me in that direction. So it's like me as a little 7-year-old chubby fiddle player out on the street busking. And did that like my entire childhood and teenage years, and got a lot better for it, and actually got opportunities from it, and had an unreasonable amount of income for like a 9-year-old child. So I'd always go out on the street and do that, and then go and make as much money as I wanted to make to go to the toy store next door and buy the thing I wanted to get.
That's incredible.
Bankrolled my own toys.
Learning from a young age.
Yeah.
I love that.
I also grew up busking and stuff, and I think it's important to just, you know, I guess not have, like, continue to keep making things without too high of a standard or too much, like, perfectionism.
Yeah.
And I think that that's, like, what you said of, you know, just doing things like not waiting for opportunities to be handed to you, that, like, the build it and they will come mentality is what's, I think, helped me the most in the last couple of years. Just, like, you know, especially, like, with releasing music or making a music video or anything else, like, you don't know whether people are going to care about it, but you care about it. You're just going to do it anyway. You know?
I think as well, as long as you're like caring about it and it's close to your heart, like other people will relate to that. Yeah. And there's always an audience for the type of music you're going to make. I strongly believe that.
But I think my thing lately that's different from what Carmen said is like I think receiving feedback like has been really important for me. Like not having too much of an ego about it and being able to take in people's criticism without letting it like destroy your confidence, you know?
Yeah.
Because it's not easy to do that.
No.
But it is, you know, people, especially people, your friends and stuff, like if they're going to tell you something that they think is better, they're not trying to be mean, they're trying to help, right?
Yeah. And it is a tricky thing to kind of get into that mentality because obviously when we're young, like you always kind of want praise in school and stuff. Yeah. Whereas like the older you get, like you hear criticism, you're like, oh my gosh. But then like you have to kind of unlearn what you learned in school.
Especially when you're an artist, this is like, you're like, this is the thing I care about the most. Yeah. And people say that I'm like good at it, right? So when you hear people criticize it, you're like, sometimes you're like, well, what do you know? But I think it's still important to try to take on board, like, there's a reason that they're saying this.
Yeah.
Even if it's maybe misguided or they don't have the context to like understand why what is happening, it's still important to try to kind of
take that feedback in. Yeah. And then I guess you can kind of think about whether it like applies to you or not as well. Mm-hmm. Take it in, see if it vibes. If it doesn't, let it go.
Even like strangers when you're busking, we were saying like it's like whether people pay attention to a certain song or not, like that's feedback, that's information.
Literally, you know? All feedback can be used as good feedback, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's a delicate line to walk. So, you know, you want to be confident enough and believe in yourself enough to be willing to put yourself out there, but not so much that you're not willing to take feedback and like grow and push yourself to be better. Sure. You know,
that middle ground, isn't it? And teetering the line of it.
Just, trying to keep loving the learning. You know.
Yes, definitely.
Lifelong learner mentality, I think, is the best thing as an artist.
Yeah, I think just in general as people, it's always good to have that mentality because as people, we only know what we know. But I was going to ask as well, what do you guys have coming up for 2025? Because I know you've been so busy with your tour, your music videos, your music. What have you got coming up?
I have some sessions here in London, so
nice.
Plan is, we'll see what happens, but plan is 3 more songs, hopefully released this year and collected into an EP.
Oh my gosh.
And 2 of what we played today were hopefully those songs as well. Beautiful Disaster and Kiss Me Instead. Kiss Me Instead I randomly wrote as part of a Song a Day for a Month project that is something I've been doing for years, like just choose a month and write every single day. And that month I was posting a lot of those song-a-days on Instagram and TikTok. And that particular video kind of blew up and got a lot of traction. So I was like, I guess people like the song.
It has to be on the
have
EP.
to finish it. So that's Kiss Me Instead. It's about my bisexual origin story.
Ooh.
And then, yeah, Beautiful Disaster I wrote last summer when we were planning our wedding. And we were trying to pick a first dance. And I was like, what is up with love songs? Like, why are they all not actually about love?
Yeah.
Like, they're about, like, trying to get the girl or, like, play games or breakups or whatever. And I was like, where are the songs that are just like, yes, this is my person, you know?
Yeah.
So Beautiful Disaster is like that social commentary of like Hollywood tropes and what is it really like to be in a long-term relationship. I feel like people don't actually talk about that very much.
Really
strangely.
don't.
So yeah, and that is the plan. And then Corona's planning a tour. They know more about that than me.
Yeah, we're gonna tour Oregon and Washington in May, and California in June, July, August, and then do it like all the way across the U.S. out to the East Coast for like September through January.
Wow, so that's like a full year kind of long tour.
Yes.
That's amazing. Well, I hope you guys have the best time. I'm sure you're going to smash every single day, and we will be there in spirit with you in the UK. In terms of like where people can find you, what is your handle, what are your socials? Is there anything you want to promote in particular that we haven't spoken about today?
Yeah, Towse or Towse like house on all platforms. We're really active on Instagram, and you know, Spotify is a good place to find us.
Yeah.
TOWSE.
TOWSE. And
Yes.
we do have a website. You can always find our dates on there. And what else? I don't know.
And
Yeah,
new music
check out
coming soon.
new music coming soon. Check out the London gig if you're in the area. Exciting stuff.
Amazing. Thank you so much for coming in. I've had the best time chatting to you guys.
Thank you for
and
having us.
No, it's such a pleasure. And thank you to you guys watching and listening.
It wasn't love at first sight when I saw you cross the room on a misty summer night. You said you hate my favorite song. There was no meet cute, no, it's not a rom-com. And I'd rather freeze than wear your jacket if it doesn't match my outfit. We don't agree, can't stay under blankets, but I'm there like you're a magnet. Hollywood taught me love looks like cliche beginnings. It's all about winning. Boy meets girl, he sweeps her off her feet. They're kissing, her head is spinning. But I think our love will go on long beyond the storybook ending. Yeah, Hollywood taught me love looks like a tiny little happy ever after. But it's a beautiful disaster. I thought it'd be a one-night stand. Didn't mean to meet your dad. He just came out of the kitchen, and then I got kind of obsessed. But it was one bright spark, he would burn out in a second, right? I said, come over, and you practically moved in like it's the sequel. I said I love you, but I know that we're still seeing other people. Hollywood taught me love looks like cliche beginnings. It's all about winning. Boy meets girl, he sweeps her off her feet. They're kissing, her head is spinning. But I think our love will go on long beyond the storybook ending. Yeah, Hollywood taught me love looks like a tidy little happy ever after. But it's a beautiful disaster. I wanna love like peach juice dripping down your arms, love lines and stretch marks, fancy sheets in the dark. I wanna love like flowers growing from the day your threadbare favorite shirt. Yeah, real love takes work. Sometimes it hurts, but Hollywood taught me love looks like cliche beginnings. It's all about winning. Boy meets girl, he sweeps her off her feet. They're kissing, her head is spinning. perfect little chapter, but it's a beautiful disaster. Yeah, it's a beautiful disaster.